Hey everybody, it's Karen with Food and Family. I'm getting ready to start dinner and I looked out and I just saw this beautiful sunset and it is starting to change a little bit. So I thought I'd bring you out here and just let you see it. It doesn't take long, you know. We have beauty right, natural beauty right in front of us. We don't have to go searching for it. There it is. Was that not a beautiful sunset? I just wanted y'all to see it. I'm sitting here. That's why I have my stove in front of my window. I can see these beautiful things outside. And I looked up and saw that and I thought, oh, I'm sure everybody would love to see that. Someone to take you out and show you. But I'm getting ready to start dinner. We're going to have pork chops. I'm going to have some turnip grains and I'm going to show you how I make them. And I'm going to have some creamed corn, and I'm going to make some cornbread. You've probably seen me make all of these before, but we will have it again for supper tonight. So I took a couple of shortcuts, and I brought some frozen vegetables. I've got some sheep egg corn, and I'll tell you how I did that in just a minute. And I've got some frozen turnip greens. Now these are just as good as fresh. Actually, they may be a little bit fresher because when they're picked, then they're processed and frozen immediately, okay? But anyway, let's do our turnip greens. Very simple, very simple. We're going to put some salt on them. I've got just enough for me and him. I've got a couple of cups or so of these frozen greens. I put a little bit of salt. I'm going to put some bacon. My bacon's frozen, but you know that's okay. I'm going to just nestle that down in there. And, oh, excuse me, that was loud, wasn't it? And I'm going to cover it with some water. Don't put a lot of water. Turnip greens make their own water. They're like cabbage. They're watery. So, I'm going to scoot this to the back. Turn it on. And let it cook. Now, if you want to, you can put some red pepper flakes. I think I'm going to scoot over here and get my nutmeg. I forgot it because I like to put a little fresh nutmeg, ground nutmeg in my greens. Some reason, fresh ground nutmeg, you can't really taste it in the greens. You don't put enough, you can taste it. But it just gives it that something in the background that makes you think, what's in there? So put a little bit, just zip a little bit in there. And that's it. Done. So let's get a lid on this pot. And we'll get it cooking. Now for the corn. So I went ahead and did this. So it's noisy. So you guys wouldn't have to worry about seeing it. But I've took some corn. I had about a couple of cups of white sheep egg corn. It's the frozen I showed you. Put it in my blender. And I blended it up real good. You don't want mush, but you want it to be ground up. A little bit of oil in my pan. So now I'm going to take just a little bit of whole kernels, put them in there. Just gives it some texture. And then I'm going to pour this over it. We're done. Get that out of the way. And let me get a spoon. Stir it around. We're going to salt and pepper this. Salt and pepper to your taste. Your taste may be different than mine on the salt and pepper. And I'm going to put some butter. And I've got half a stick of butter. Y'all know I'm going to use butter. You know I'm going to use butter. So I'm going to put that in there. And I'm going to scoot it over here on this eye. And I know you can't see that. And I'm going to let it get to cooking. I'll put a lid on it, turn it down, and let it cook. I don't need that front eye on, do I? Now I'm going to get my cornbread started. So I have got, y'all have seen me make cornbread. I've gotten a video out on it. So, you know, I'm not going to measure tonight. I'm just going to do it. I've got White Lily buttermilk cornmeal mix. It's just a little pan for me and him. While I'm mixing this up, let's put our skillet in the oven to be getting hot. We want it hot because when we put our cornbread mix in it, we want it to just get brown and crunchy on the outside. So, buttermilk cornmeal mix, White Lily self-rising flour, not a lot. The cornmeal mix has flour in it. And 1 egg. One egg and salt. I know it has salt in it also, but I like to add a little bit to it. It doesn't have enough for me, so I didn't add much. That wasn't even a teaspoon. So let's kind of stir that up a little bit. And I should have put my salt in before the egg, but we're going to get that all mixed in together. It's going to be okay. Now, buttermilk. I have a cup of buttermilk here. I don't know if I'll use it all. Now, I know you guys probably know this and have heard it, and I use it all the time because seems like every time I need buttermilk, I'm out of buttermilk. Use whole milk. Add you some vinegar to it, and it'll clabber up. And you can use that in your cooking, in your baking. I wouldn't suggest drinking it. But I don't drink buttermilk anyway because I don't like it. So you see that consistency? That's what you want for your cornbread. Now I'm going to let that sit here for a minute while our skillet gets hot, okay? Then I'm going to, see, it doesn't take long to get a meal going. I've been on here 10 minutes. I've got my corn going. I've got my turnip greens on. I've got my cornbread getting ready. And I'm about ready to start my pork chops. So today I'm just going to use some flour. Y'all have seen me do it with my daughter-in-law. Do it where she breads them in pork rinds. Oh, it's so good. We're not going to do that today, though. I'm going to go ahead and put some salt. I'll be generous. And pepper. Because this is the only time I'm seasoning these pork chops. I want to get something else. And I just thought about it. I want to get I want onion powder. I want garlic powder. And I want some paprika. These seem to be the three that I go to the most. And I'm just going to shake. I'm not going to measure. So, just shake it out until you're happy. That's probably about a teaspoon. That's onion powder. I'm going to put about the same amount of garlic powder. And I'm going to put paprika. Probably, I won't put that much paprika. About half of that amount. Be careful shaking because you don't want it to all dump out. Then you've got to start over again. And you don't want to do that. You've got this far. So let me get a skillet. So we're going to put our oil in here. Use your cast iron skillet. I just didn't go and pull mine out. They fry some beautiful pork chops, but my Calphalon fries them up beautifully too. My set of Calphalon will last me forever. And you can look at my Amazon store, and I'll drop a link in the description box, and get you a set of Calphalon. They're not cheap, but they will last forever. Let's get our pork chops over here. Let's get them ready. We don't need this water anymore, so I'm going to move that. We don't need the cornmeal. We're going to move that. Make ourselves a little room. So we're going to get our pork chops out. I'm trying not to touch it. Give me a second. Let me go over here and rinse them off, okay? Now, see, that is done. You know, I told y'all a story. I've changed my mind. I think I am going to put just a little bit of salt and pepper on these pork chops. I'm not going to put much. Not much at all. So that's what I try to show you guys, some shortcuts. Alright, so I leave my towel over the handle. A little bit of oil in my skillet. You know it's hot because that oil is moving around. It likes to dance. Give this another stir. I should have showed it to you. As it sits, it kind of rises a little bit. So, I like to let it sit sometimes before, when I have time to let it sit before I put it in my skillet to bake it. See, and that oil is hot, so it's already sizzling. I hope you can see that. It's already sizzling. So we're going to bake it. I've told you before, I bake it at 435 for 20 minutes. Damn, and that's going to be ready when we are. Let's see. Is that ready? I don't think it is. Almost. So we're going to start breading these pork chops. Nothing doing, but I've got to get in with my hands. We can wash them. It's why we have soap and water, right? This should be hot. Let's see. It feels hot. Yes, it's sizzling. You might could see down in there. Yes. Yes, it's sizzling when I dropped them in there. Ah. Can you hear that? That's a good sound. Let's get rid of the flour. So we're going to stop here in just a minute. Clean up a little bit. We'll clean up as we go, and that way after dinner we don't have so much to do. Let's check our corn and see. Yes, see, you can't see it. It's bubbling away. I'm going to show it to you in just a minute. Ooh. Let's see if I can tilt you down where you can see in that pan of corn. See that? Looky there. All right, so let me pause right here. We're going to get these pork chops cooked, and I'm going to get this corn and these turnip greens going, and I'll be back with you in a few minutes, okay? Can y'all see in that pan how pretty those pork chops are? I just turned them over. They cooked about 4 or 5 minutes on that side. They're golden brown. And I'll cook them 4 or 5 minutes on this side. Don't overcook your pork chops, please. They'll dry out and they'll be tough. But if you don't overcook them, my mother-in-law used to say the one thing she liked the most that I cooked was my pork chops, because they were tender and they were not dry. And if I asked her what she wanted, that's what she wanted, was pork chops. So let's stir these turnip greens. They are cooking. No, I don't want to get that water in my grease. I don't want to wear it. Ooh, those are looking good. And see, when you buy them frozen, they don't take long to cook. And we're going to stir our corn. You probably hear Miss Patchy. She's, I think, wanting out. Yeah. Hang on, baby. And that corn will cook down and get thick. You want to cook that liquid out that we put in, but you need it in there to get it cooking. Let me show it to you again. Can you see that? Can you see down in that pot of turnip greens over there? We'll have some, okay, I'll let you see. She's saying out. Come on, let's go out. She likes to come in and get a snack, but then she wants to go back out and play. She'll come in after a while and settle down, but she loves outside better than anything. And she has stayed in a lot during these really cold, wet days. She's spoiled, yes. So if anybody wants to know, the answer to that is yes. So, and our cornbread is looking good. It'll be ready here in just a few minutes. I can't wait for dinner tonight. He's on his way home. He called me just a minute ago. And so he'll be here in just a few minutes. I tried to get him to come through and say hi to you guys. So, let me finish this up. I'll be back. I want you to see what it looked like in between. So give me just a few minutes and I'll be back with you and show you how we're going to finish this meal up, okay? Yeah, this cornbread's about to come out of the oven and I want you to see what it looks like. It's fixing that. There it goes. There it beeps. Turn it off. Now I want you to see this beautiful, see that beautiful skillet of cornbread. Turn it out. Remember, you always turn it out because you don't want it to sweat. And then a lot of times I'll stick a table knife up under it, raise it up off the, let me get one and I'll show you what I do. It keeps it from sweating on the plate. See? Just slip that knife right up under there. That's what my mother did. That's what my grandmother did. So that's what I do. See that? Isn't that beautiful? That is a beautiful cake of cornbread. So I'm going to set it right there while we finish up all this other stuff. Can you see that in this skillet? I turn these pork chops again. One more time. I'm going to let this other side brown just a little bit more. And the hubby just came in, so we're going to get him fed here in just a few minutes. Y'all can help me feed him. We're going to let this corn thicken up a little bit more. Now, if you wanted to, you can put a little cornstarch in it, mix it up with water, and then thicken it up. Or you can put a little milk in it. Why don't we put a little half and half in it? Or we can put a little bit of whole milk. That's what I got, whipping cream. Are you ready to eat? Come here and look and see what we have.
Getting close. Ooh. Oh, we got turnip greens?
Turnip greens.
Ooh, a bacon.
Yep, that's his favorite. I love collard greens. He likes turnip greens. Pork chops.
Pork chops.
And some corn.
Pork chops. Good old corn.
And made us a good old pan of
good.
Cornbread. So.
Sounds good.
He's worked hard today. So we're going to get this finished up, then I'm going to come back and we're going to pull it together and we're going to get him fed, okay? So y'all come back. Y'all stay with me, okay? We're ready to eat. I told you guys I'd come back and we'll put this together. So, are you hungry? Ready to eat?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we're going to give him a nice, beautiful pork chop. How about some corn? Yeah, this corn came out so pretty. I'm going to show it to you. And some turnip greens and the bacon. He likes the bacon. I don't like cooked bacon like that, but I love to cook with it. Looks like more bacon than turnip greens, don't it? We'll give him a little piece of cornbread. We'll come back and butter it. Now look at that plate. All right. I'll let you try it. Here's your knife. See these Rada knives? These little paring knives? We use them for steak knives. If you need it on your pork chop. So I'm going to drop the link to the Rada store in the description box as well. So y'all check them out. If you don't have any Rada knives, you'll love it. Tell me what you think about those pork chops.
Okay.
Is it tender? Is it cutting easy?
Oh yeah, between the pork chops, the way you cook them and the Rada knives. Yep.
Yep. Now, please be careful when you're cooking your pork chops and don't overcook them. I was telling them that's the one thing your mother loved of mine was my pork chops. She liked everything I cooked. It's just pork chops were her favorite. So, got to have something to wash it down with, don't you? I didn't get you a drink. I'm going to fix my plate in a minute, but I want to see what he thinks about everything.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. You're good. I see your knife and fork just went right through that pork chop. So easy. Is it seasoned good? I didn't measure, I just did.
It is. Double T's, tasty and tender.
Double T's. He always has a saying for something. He does a lot of alphabets, and I've learned through the years what they are. So I haven't made corn like that in a while. Nor turnip greens. I haven't made us any turnip greens either. I'm going to get my fork and I'm going to taste your plate. Corn is what I'm most excited about. And y'all know I love pork chops. That's my favorite.
There's your piece of pork chop.
Oh, I got that corn just perfect. Seasoned just perfect. Oh, how tender. And it's so juicy.
It is. Tastes like fresh corn. Straight out of the garden. That's good.
That's good. All right, so I've got his approval on another meal. I'm glad you joined us tonight. Please come back and see us soon.